All right, we are asked to expand this binomial. So we are going to use combination method to expand it. Okay. Now the first thing you need to do whenever you see a binomial expansion is find your binomial coefficients, and you will use your combination methods to get it. So let's start. So combination for the first term is going to be, we have 4. Remember our combination formula, which is n over what? N minus r factorial, then multiply by r factorial. Okay, so we are going to understand what all these things mean. So the first thing, let's do for the first term. So we have combination n is 4, then 0, okay, because we're starting from 0. So combination n 0 will now give you 4 factorial over 4 minus 0 factorial, then 0 factorial. So if we simplify this, note that what factorial means. For instance, if I say factorial, let me say 4 factorial, okay? Since we are using 4, this is the same thing as 4 multiplied by 3, multiplied by 2, multiplied by 1. Okay, so whatever it gives you is your 4 factorial. So 4 times 3 is 12, 12 times 2 is 24, 24 times 1 is 24. So 4 factorial is 24. So basically what we are going to do here is, we can simplify this. We now say 4 factorial over 4 minus 0 will give you 4 factorial, then multiply by 0 factorial. Okay, so this will cancel this. 4 factorial cancels 4 factorial, gives you 1. So that's your first coefficient. Then let's go to the second coefficient. So we have combination 4 1, and we now have 4 factorial over 4 minus 1, then factorial multiplied by 1 factorial. So this is the same thing as 4 factorial over 4 minus 1 is 3. So you have 3 factorial, then multiply by 1 factorial. You know that 1 factorial is the same thing as 1, right? Because it's just like 1 times 1. So here you now have 4 multiplied by 3. So I will just put it like this. 4 multiplied by 3 factorial over 3 factorial multiplied by 1 factorial. It's still the same thing. So 3 factorial cancels 3 factorial. I will now have 4 as my answer. So 4 over 1 is 4. So let's go to the third term, which is 4 2, combination 4 2. You now have 4 factorial over 4 minus 2 factorial, then we now have 2 factorial. So this will be 4 factorial over 4 minus 2 is 2 factorial. Then we have 2 factorial, okay? So we can do this to be 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2 factorial. So we have 2 factorial multiplied by 2 factorial. So 2 factorial cancels 2 factorial. And you know 2 factorial is 2 times 1. So this will now be 12 over 2, which is 6. Because 4 times 3 is 12. 2 factorial is 2. Now let's do combination 4 3. And we now have 4 combination 4 minus 3 factorial, then 3 factorial. So when you look at this, this is 4 factorial over 1 factorial, because 4 minus 1, 4 minus 3 is 1, then multiply by 3 factorial. We have something like this before. You can see it 4 factorial, 4 factorial, 3 and 1 factorial, 1 and 3 factorial. They are still the same thing. And what do we get? We get 4. And the final combination, which is 4 combination 4. Okay? So when it gets to 4, you stop because your power is 4. So you have 4 factorial over 4 minus 4 factorial, then multiply by 4 factorial, okay? So this is like 4 factorial over 4 minus 4 is 0. So 0 factorial multiplied by 4 factorial. We have something like that before. So this easy. This becomes 1. Now, how do we now plug in this rest? So the first thing you do is you use this one, multiply by 2a. 2a power 4, then negative 3b power 0. Okay? Here again, you say multiply 2a power 3, negative 2b, 3b, power 1. Then this 6 multiplied by 2a, power 2 multiplied by negative 3b power 2. So the next is 4 multiplied by 2a power 1 multiplied by negative 3b power 3. So now say 1 multiplied by 2a power 0 minus negative 3b power 4. So this is just how you do it, and you get your answer. So let's talk about the first one. 1 multiplied by 2 power 4. 2 power 4 is 16, right? So we now have 16. A power 4 is a power 4. Then negative 3b power 0 is 1. So this is your answer here. So 2 power 3 is 8. 8 multiplied by 4 is 32. 32 multiplied by negative 3 is going to give you negative 96. Negative 96. So we now have a cube, then b1. So big, okay? Don't really write 1. So for the third term, you have negative 3 squared multiplied by 4. We give negative 3 squared, we give you 9. 9 multiplied by 2 squared, we give you 36, right? 36 times 6, we give you 216. So we have 216. We now have a squared, and b squared, and b squared. Now for this, we now have negative 3 cube. We give you negative 27. Negative 27 multiplied by 2, we give you negative 54. Negative 54 multiplied by 4, we give you negative 216. So we have a1, which is a, b cube, b cube. Then for this, we also have 1 multiplied by 2 power 0. This is going to give you 1 because everything here is 1. Then multiply by negative 3 power 4. Negative 3 power 4 is 81. 81. 81b power 4. So what is now the expansion of this? I'll now write it. You now see it. So let me use another marker. So this will now be equals 2a minus 3b power 4 will now be equals to 16a power 4 negative 96a cube b. Then we now have plus 216a squared b squared. Then we now have minus 216ab cube. Then we now have plus 81b power 4. And that is how you expand this binomial expression. I hope you learned something from this. So in our next video, we are going to learn how to just look for a particular term. You don't need to go through this route and you will get it. See you in my next video. Peace out.